Good morning, everybody. Today is May 4th, 2023. For anybody who doesn't know me, I'm Dawn Broyles. I'm really tired of the people we elect in office who are supposed to represent the people in the House where they pass their bills and have their debates. It's supposed to be the people's house. And apparently they're not representing the people properly, because if they were, they would not be playing a game of chicken with our debt and raising the debt ceiling. We've got the worst president in the history of the United States. We've had government shutdowns in the past, but we've always ended up with some sort of an agreement. And the Democrats just want to continue to spend like, money is water. And we can't continue to spend the way we've been spending in this country. For one. For two, they are risking delaying things such as food stamps to people. They're risking delaying people who are on Section 8. They are risking Social Security retirees payments. They are risking veterans payments, people who are on SSI and SSDI payments. If our payments are delayed, they're going to cause mass homelessness, because people won't be able to pay their rent or their mortgage. And they're going to cause mass starvation because nobody will have food stamps. And I'm going to say this to President Biden. I'm ashamed of you. When you got into office, you said, quote, "The adults are in the house." You're not acting like adults, and neither are your party. You're acting very childish in refusing to negotiate to get this debt ceiling raised. You are the one, you and your party are the ones who are going to risk defaulting on paying what needs to be paid by the government with our tax dollars. And you want to say that it's the Republicans and the MAGA Republicans' fault? No. Yes, the Republicans are equally responsible, but the biggest portion of that responsibility is the Democratic Party. When I turned 18 years old, I became a Democrat. Back then, they weren't the extremists that they are. They weren't Marxist or socialist or communist. But what they're putting out, what they want, is socialist, Marxist, and communist. We're supposed to be a democracy, which this country was founded on. It was also founded on God and the principles that government was not to be too big, that government was supposed to represent the people, for the people, by the people, in the pursuit of liberty and the pursuit of happiness and freedom. And you're stripping our freedom and our Bill of Rights. And I'm going to tell you right now, I am an extreme, hardcore patriot. I believe in the Constitution, and I believe in my Bill of Rights, and I'm willing to fight for it by any means necessary, regardless of my disabilities, regardless of how crippled up my body is. I will fight. Anyone who thinks they're going to come here in the government and microchip me got another thing coming, because I will fight you to the death and I will drag you to hell with me. Period. And I'm disappointed in the people, the American people, who want to sit here and bitch and gripe and moan and do nothing. Those of you who sit there and make comments and say, oh, we ought to do this and that, then like-minded people like me, we need to get together and we need to push back. We need to stand up and say, no, we're not having this. No to the not having any privacy to our finances. And telling the government, we're not going to trust you with our money, with the Fed now and the CBDCs. That we're not going to take this line down and have you, because you don't agree with our opinion, or you don't like our social media or what we post on our social media, or because we tell the truth, that you're going to deny us access to our money. Period. Yes, I'm pissed. I'm beyond livid. If there was a word to describe it, I would use it. I'm a Native American Indian, and our people were badly mistreated, along with the African Americans who were enslaved. My people don't even trust government. And to the American people, this is what they want. They have divided us. They are causing us to fight with each other. Stop believing their bullshit. Let's come together, because united we stand strong. Divided we fall and we become weak. We've got to stop this. We've got to push back and put an end to this. We've got to. And yes, cuts need to be made. And yes, it's painful. And yes, none of us like it. I don't like the cuts that the Republicans want to do. Nobody does. But the cuts have got to come from somewhere to get us back on track fiscally in this country. So we got to bite the bullet and deal with the cuts. Otherwise, Social Security will go broke in 9 years or less at this rate, if the Democrats get their way and they keep spending out of control. And because the Democratic Party have become so extreme in their ideology and indoctrinating our children and convincing the girls that they're actually boys, and to mutilate their bodies into becoming males, and our boys to mutilate their bodies into becoming females, is wrong. If you want to be transgender and you want to be a female dressing up as a male, fine. You can dress as a male or female and be transgender that way. But we cannot allow our children to make that choice, because our children are minors. They don't have the life experience and the knowledge, and they're not adults. If you're going to allow minors to make a serious life-altering decision, then you should allow them to have gun rights. You should be able to allow them to buy cigarettes and alcohol at that rate. Period. We have laws in place where they cannot buy cigarettes or alcohol or guns unless they're a certain age. We don't allow our children to get married unless they're a certain age, because they don't have the mental capability as minors to make those adult choices. Period. Nobody should ever be censored. Either. Nobody should be censored and silenced because they speak the truth. We should be able to have a difference of opinion. For example, I'm pro-life. Somebody else might be for abortion. But then let's respectfully agree to disagree. Your opinion may be right for you. Mine is right for me. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're wrong or I'm wrong or you're right or I'm right. Nobody's going to ever agree on everything. But we should be able to have the respect as adults to respect each other's opinions and differences. We should not be canceling people or name calling. That is childish. We should be adults and conduct ourselves as adults, conduct ourselves as ladies and gentlemen. And for another thing, I agree with the people, the citizens that think that we should defund our police. Because last night, my life was threatened because a tenant that lived next door to me had a drug dealer living in her house who was not on lease, who was told by our landlord that he was not allowed on property, and she still had him there, and several other people in a studio apartment. And the man blamed me for them getting kicked out. So he came by here last night after she got evicted, on my doorstep. And this guy has a history of violence. He's committed violence here with on other tenants in our complex. I've seen him do it. My husband and other tenants have seen him do it. And so I know he will carry out his threat to murder me. I had my door open last night because of the nice evening breeze that we've had here, because here where I live, in early April, it was already getting 80 and 90 degrees during the day. So at night, when it kind of cools off, there's a bit of a nice evening breeze. So I had my door open to enjoy that. He was there on my doorstep making those threats. I'm yelling and screaming at him to get the hell off my door. My husband gets up, being the big guy he is at 6'4" and like 325 pounds. And he shuts the door on him, and the stupid asshole decides he's going to push the door back. But my husband managed to get it shut and locked. And right after that, I called the police, and while I'm on the phone with the police for nearly an hour, my husband texted our manager and let her know what transpired. Because she always told us, if somebody threatens you or somebody's on property that shouldn't be, that's been 86'd off the property, to call the police. Okay, so we did that. After almost being on the phone for nearly an hour, I explained the situation. They told me, 1, he had the right to be on this property. 2, the landlord has to call them to get him removed. 3, there's nothing they can do to him unless he puts hands on me or he shoots me and kills me. So the police, even in my state here, in Nevada, are basically getting paid to do absolutely nothing. So our tax dollars are being wasted. So basically the police have put me in a situation where now I have to take matters into my own hands. And we don't have a self-defense law here, like California, where I'm originally from. They have what is called self-preservation. And even if I do end up killing him in self-defense, I still risk going to prison for it. And to me, it's worth it because I'm defending my life. So now basically what the police is telling me, that I've got to do their job for them. But the way I'll do it, they won't like it. Because I will defend myself by any means necessary. And I know my husband will definitely defend me and my life. And my husband, being the big dude he is, my husband will probably take his ass out. So I'm in agreement with defunding the police. Now, as far as Democrats and Republicans and the Green Party and our president, here's my message to you. Stop playing a game of chicken. Stop being immature children and do the damn job you were elected to do and negotiate, and stop playing with our money. Period. And put a stop to the government wanting control over our money. Government should be separate from church and state. Government should never interfere in a citizen's private life or their decision, or how they make their decision and what they spend their money on. Shame on all of you. Remember this. We, the voters, are the taxpayers. We, the voters, are your employer, and we're your bosses. You work for us. Do your job, or we can fire you by voting you out. Do you understand? Is that clear to you? I would appreciate those of you who are like-minded to hit that like button and subscribe and get the word out. Share this video. Get the word out to like-minded people. If you have friends that are like-minded, please share it. Thank you, and God bless you, and have a great day. Peace. America, patriot forever.